Hello everybody, I'm Raphael Perry, and tonight I'm going to be recording a game called Swordhaven, Iron Conspiracy. I believe at one point it was called Swordhaven v Iron Conspiracy, but hey, I'm not going to quibble over semantics too much. I've been following this game for quite some time, since it was originally launched on Kickstarter in fact, and usually, if I play a game that was on Kickstarter on the channel, unless it was Monomyth, I probably backed that game on Kickstarter. But like Monomyth, this game launched at a unfortunate time for me when I didn't quite have enough money to support it, so I waited till later on when it entered into early access and got in then and have been playing early access for quite a while. Decided to wait till full release to show you the game. This is a medium to low fantasy, low magic game, a very low magic game. And I'm using these terms the same way that the AD&D 2nd edition writers did. So, high, low or medium refers to the frequency, not the power. So, medium fantasy would be one that is not fully highly fantastical, such as The Forgotten Realms or a Disney film, for example. Whereas something that is low fantasy would be something like David Gemmell's books or The Lord of the Rings. Yeah, I know a lot of people call The Lord of the Rings high fantasy. It's technically not. Because if it was high fantasy, there would be a lot less humans. And the non-human races, excluding the orcs for a moment, there would be a lot more hobbits and dwarfs and elves all over the place, right? And so high magic would be a place with lots of magic, highly abundant, flourishing everywhere. In common use, everyone understands magic. So, for instance, the novel A Spell for Xanth by Piers Anthony, in which every living thing in existence knows at least one spell apart from Xanth, who doesn't know any spells and he's very frustrated. And towards the end of the novel he actually finds out that he's been casting a spell the whole time, and it's a spell that makes him immune to magic. Well, it doesn't make him immune to magic completely, it makes it so that magic cannot harm him in any way, and that's the spell he's been casting his entire life. So that would be a kind of high magic situation. Low magic would be almost something like Game of Thrones, where the magic is quite rare and quite often not necessarily actually magic at all, necessarily. The Lord of the Rings is definitely low magic because the wizards do not dare use their magical power openly, for to do so would attract the attention of Sauron. And there's only like 5 wizards in the entire world, If you're familiar with the old Fallout games, the first 2, before Bethesda started producing them, I think this game is very similar to those. And also in some ways to Arcanum as well, if you like that old game. Tell you what, this game does have an intro that plays before the main menu loads up, but because I don't have a way of reliably running that from here, I'm going to have to start the game again. So I'll do that right now, and through the magic of editing, it should all go quite smoothly for you lot. So here we are, the Atom Team company logo, and straight into the intro.
Countless eons have passed since our ancestors traveled to the Promised Land from the Land of Calamity. Eons still have they wandered, aimlessly and scattered. Only when Shershet, the last prophet, proclaimed the dragon's rule from atop the sacred mountain, had our purpose become unobscured, our destinies manifest. United by faith, great rulers of the past bounded petty kingdoms into the mighty Kudonian Empire, a new center of civilization and a launching point for many voyages of exploration and conquest. That is how the barbaric land, later dubbed Nova Drakonia, was discovered, and in it the magical Baldur ore, the world's only source of pale iron, renowned for its unique strength and temper. A century later, Nova Drakonia has been crowned by the port city of Swordhaven, and at least partially tamed. But this land of mystery and danger yet calls to the adventurous souls from every corner of the known world. It is with one such adventurer that our tale begins.
And here we are, back to the menu. Before diving in, there's one more thing I'd like to cover, which is mods. There is a mod. Actually, there's about 3 or 4 mods at the moment. The developers opened up this game to modding during the early access period, and they created 1 or 2 mods themselves. And this one is quite popular. I'm not going to click on it because all that'll do is move it across to the active, and I'll need to restart the game. This mod adds 1 additional companion character to the game. She's a nice fun character to have along, not necessarily the most powerful character, and there are a few issues. Firstly, due to the difficulty involved in gaining her, she's likely to be at least most, if not all, of 1 full level below the party at pretty much all times. Secondly, she has a ability that used to be a common core ability that all characters had access to, which I'm not going to say it's been removed from the game, but it's no longer available for any other character in the game to have access to. She still has that because the mod has not been updated since... I think it was updated a few times since it was created, but it hasn't been updated since that ability was removed from the game. Furthermore, it's a low-level archery ability. It used to be a very low-level archery ability. Its icon has been recycled for a higher-level archery ability which functions quite differently, so there could be some confusion there. Furthermore, characters in this game have the ability to unlearn abilities and free up the ability point to learn other abilities. However, because that ability of hers is not on the ability grid, she can't unlearn it because we can't find it to click an unlearn button. Okay? And the other thing is that every other companion character in the game has a unique special ability that makes them more of a character, something unique. These were added to the game after she was introduced, so she does not have one of those abilities. Now, we could consider her low-level archery ability to be her unique ability, but remember that if we ever drag it off a hotkey, we can't drag it back again because it doesn't exist anywhere we have access to. So she has a few issues. However, she's got a nice personality, she's fun to have around, she's got an amazing carrying capacity, so she could be fun to have. And she's not right in the starting area, so it would take me a few episodes to get to her anyway. So let me know in the comments section down below if you'd like to see the extra character. She was created by the game developers, she does have a personality and you can talk to her, she has interesting things to say. She doesn't tend to butt in on main storyline quest stuff the same way other characters do, but you know, she's got her own issues and deals and things going on, and she can be a bit of fun to have along. I could go either way. Let me know what you think. Now let's begin. So, we can play a man or a woman. I am aware of 9 companion characters in the game, excluding the special one. And of those 9, 6 are men and 3 are women. So, we could be a boy or a girl. There are some nice beard models in the game. That's great. So, obviously, I'm leaning towards the man. However, mercifully, most of the male companion characters do have some kind of facial hair. For reasons probably to do with the art style and cultural vibe the game's going for. If I had to name the art style, I'd say Northeastern European or sort of very Germanic feeling art style. Then again, we aren't going to get a lot of female characters in the game, so maybe we could go with one of them, and I think I will. We are assigned a random name, and we can click a button to keep gaining various appellations. The naming conventions of the game seem to be somewhat Eastern European as well. And they do seem to have their place of birth listed, so not the kind of world where there are many surnames. The population is not vast enough for there to be that many duplicate first names. And you just tell people where you came from. I'm Irfan from Gloomwater, Locke of Krakow, Xena of Gulansharo, Nestan of Cloudstrand, and so on, right? Hazelmere. You know what? I'm really tempted to go Hazeldean, because I think Hazeldean's nearby, actually. Calliope. Now, that's very Greek. Greek is Eastern European, just sort of southeastern. And of course, we can also type something in there as well. I think I'll click a few. Ged! Someone's a Wizard of Earthsea fan. I'm looking for a nice Kungerot. Corona of the Lakes. Well, that's... could be a Lady of the Lakes. A Fang, Tlon, Kungerot again. Aquilon. Oh, it's an Aquilon. Ukbar. Canigum, as in John Van Canigum, who used to make all the Might and Magic games. Dagda, as in the Celtic god. Umurga. The lakes. Okay, let's go for lakes, and let's give her a nice name. Should we go with Nimue? For blatantly obvious reasons. Nimue is one of the names of the Lady of the Lake, although there are 3 or 4 different Ladies of the Lake, because literally one of them gets murdered, and then another one turns up later on and nobody bats an eyelid. So I think it's more of a title rather than a unique designation. Let's see. Let's go Gwyneth, right? Gwyneth. There we go. So now we have a number of backgrounds. The noble background. The days when the Kudonian noble houses battled each other for power and glory are waning. The Emperor is no longer the first among equals, but an autarch ruling over a much humbled aristocracy that is now clashing over clerical assignments in the Imperial Chancellery and officers' commissions in the army. Fortunately, there is still a chance to write your name in the annals of history. Though the monsters of legend are all but extinct in the Empire proper, in the wildlands of Nova Drakonia they can be found in abundance. Hunt down these fabled beasts and ensure great renown for yourself and your family. The adventurer seems to be quite a bit of a thief, sort of a Robin Hood type, more of a bandit, which is more of a ruffian. In the Kudonian Empire, there's no shortage of fortune sellers from all walks of life. Fortune seekers. Let's do that again. In the Kudonian Empire, there's no shortage of fortune seekers from all walks of life. Landless knights-errant, bankrupt craftsmen, peasants driven from their fields by famine or war, and many, many more. These vagabonds roam the land in search of coin, status, and adventure. The tempestuous shores of Nova Drakonia are a lodestone to folks like these. In that untamed land, there are yet opportunities to earn gold and advance your station, be it through the letting of blood or hunting ancient treasures. A nice default option, and it does come with a nice little perk, which I'll get into in a little bit. And they all come with a little perk. The Wade Lot. The Wade Lot is basically a priest. The state of religion in the Kudonian Empire is an amalgamation of many different sects. Although the dragon cult became the dominant faith with its doctrines of asceticism and temperance, citizens of the Empire continue to worship a multitude of regional deities, demigods and spirits, whilst acknowledging and honouring the dragon's ultimate sovereignty. The barbarians of Nova Drakonia unfortunately are notorious for denying him as a primary god. That is why the dragon cult's priests, the Wade Lots, are sending their acolytes to guide these heathens into the path of righteousness. You are one of those pilgrims. I would not advise the Wade Lot for a first playthrough if you're not familiar with the setting, because the Wade Lot path assumes you know what a Wade Lot is and how they should behave. In fact, initially there were only the 3 or 4 options in early access, when the Wade Lot got added later on. A bandit. The criminal underbelly of the Kudonian Empire spans a broad web of villainy, from the lowly cutpurse who spends his ill-gotten gains on drink and dice, to the shadowy and disciplined thieves' guilds. Law-abiding folk call this horde of ne'er-do-wells the Knight Army. There are many reasons why a criminal might make their home in Nova Drakonia, perhaps to avoid the executioner's double-headed axe, or vengeful competitors in their illicit trade. Perhaps, like so many others, they are simply looking for a better life. Whatever the case may be, this new land presents nigh endless opportunities for self-enrichment. And the merchant. Trade is the lifeblood of the Kudonian Empire, but this is a game for only the most patient of players, for one must negotiate archaic laws that vary from province to province, nepotistic merchant guilds, agreements between private cartels, imperial monopolies, greedy nobles, and countless other hurdles. How can an up-and-coming merchant gain even a toehold in such a cutthroat market? Simple. Expand your horizon and look beyond. Nova Drakonia is a land ripe with new and exciting ways to turn a profit. A world of opportunities awaits. All that's needed is the courage to strike out into this new frontier. Now, at the beginning of the game, we will have a companion character available to us. There are 5 companion characters that are available, and we will have one that aligns with our background. The noble gets a troubadour, a lady bard, who will sing and chat and talk and, be good company. The adventurer gets an aging scholar who's come to visit this old land. The Wade Lot gains a knight of the temple. The bandit, I believe, gains a vagabond ruffian who is probably part of the Thieves Guild or a bandits group. And the merchant gains a sort of mercenary bodyguard, although it might be the bandit gets the bodyguard and the merchant gets the ruffian, but I doubt it. Of these 5 characters, I really quite like the ability that the Knight Templar has. It is the only thing in the game so far that could be considered a serious magical ability, and it's not even that magical. It could be a miracle, it could be that he helps, it could be an act of faith, it could be that something miraculously occurs when he spends a load of action points. but it's really quite fun to have him around. So I'm going to go for Wadelot, and it is a background I've enjoyed playing during early access. Now we get some ability points. We have Strength, Attention, Endurance, Personality, Intellect, Dexterity, and Luck. And we get 4 ability score points. I don't believe we get to change these again after character creation. That being said, the plus and minus buttons remain on the character sheet for the whole game, so perhaps at some point we will gain additional attribute points to spend. Strength governs maximum carry weight, intimidation in dialogue, melee and unarmed damage, and also slightly increases health and stamina. Let's have a little bit of that. Attention governs accuracy in combat and lets you notice easily overlooked details both in the game world and in dialogue. Now, there is an attention check near the beginning of the game that I succeeded at once during early access using an adventurer, and it's my experience that ability tests in this game are not random. You know, they don't roll against your ability. You're not rolling against some difficulty. Instead, a difficulty is assigned to the test, and the game looks at your character sheet and sees if you have that ability at that level or higher, and if you do, you succeed the test. I believe the difficulty of that particular test was increased after I succeeded, because I have never succeeded with another character with the same level of attention or the relevant skills that might have been, you know, essentially I've created characters who are equal or better at the thing, and they cannot now succeed in that test, so it's harder. Endurance. Your maximum health, stamina, and resistance against negative effects, as well as your natural damage threshold, all depend on endurance. Now, damage threshold has changed to a percentage number. It used to be a flat numerical value. I say that because 1 or 2 abilities or items in the game say, like, damage threshold +1, but because they just haven't had their description updated yet fully. Personality affects your speechcraft skill. The Nova Drakonian's reaction to you will differ depending on this stat. Well, we are a Wadelot. We're a travelling pilgrim. We're supposed to be making a good impression on people. We want to be able to survive in the wilderness and against the various dangers we may face, so some strength and endurance is good. Attention will be good for noticing when people are lying to us or being sneaky, encouraging them to be honest. Dexterity is the traditional dump stat of priest-type characters in most role-playing games. It's the thing they don't necessarily need very much. It's the ability to dodge blows, accuracy in melee combat, combat speed, and many other details which all depend on dexterity. And then finally we have luck, which governs the success of many endeavours, from dealing and receiving armour-piercing blows to dodge and the odds of causing maximum weapon damage. Luck influences them all in some way. I have heard that there are a few instances in the game where you can possibly pray to the gods for a miracle, and if you have a very high luck stat, that miracle might occur, and it will appear to be something fairly mundane, but it's like if you ever played the Maelstrom role-playing game, either the original version in the Elizabethan era or the Dark Ages version, towards tail end of the Dark Ages early medieval period, set just after the Norman conquest. In that system, magical spells are assigned an improbability rating. That is, you the player tell the game master what you want the spell to do, and the game master assigns it an improbability rating from, oh yeah, that's something that could probably happen without anyone questioning it, a fairly natural thing, like, oh, the wind blows a bit dramatically and makes a bit of a howling sound in the window, or something falls off a shelf or something, right? I mean, something falling off a shelf might even be an improbability rating of 2 if there's nothing near the shelf and no obvious reason why it might fall off, and it's just like, oh, it's been on there a long time. improbability rating of 1 would be like if a shelf's already sloping or there's like a cat up there or something, so you could blame it on the cat. Improbability rating of 5 is like spontaneous human combustion, volcanoes exploding, tidal waves, that sort of thing, right? And then the difficulty of casting the spell would be that improbability rating. And I think the miracles in this game function the same way, in that they're all things that could be explained as acts of nature, acts of God, simple things. That being said, because I haven't tampered heavily with luck and experimented with it yet, I'm just going to leave it as it is for this playthrough. And we can have a somewhat more mundane experience. Next up we have skills, lots of skills. Martial arts, make brutally noises and beat people up. Bladed weapons, swords and daggers. Axes and blunt is like axes, maces, hammers. Spears and halberds does what it says on the tin. Ranged weapons, bows and crossbows, you know the deal. Intimidation is scare people. Persuasion, being nice to people and talking them round. Bluff, conning people, tricking people. Haggling, getting better prices for things. Outdoorsmanship, survival out in the wilderness, Stealth, being sneaky. Lockpicking, opening locks when you don't have the keys. Pickpocketing, stealing things out of people's pockets. Crafting is making stuff. It's a good skill to have early on, but fairly on we will gain a companion who is very good at this skill, and we won't need to invest many skill points in it after sort of level 2 or 3. And medicine. Making medicinal things to help heal people. Now, the game is called Swordhaven, so I am going to be developing a bit of a skill with swords. There's going to be a variety of characters in the party, and they'll all use different equipment, which means they get to use different abilities that relate to that equipment. As a member of the cloth, I probably should have a good persuasion score, and a bit of healing would always be worthwhile. I'm going to put 1 point in stealth, just in case I need it, because there is an early portion of the game where I will need to rely on stealth quite heavily, but it won't come for a while yet. A little bit of outdoorsmanship, a bit of bluff, because there will be times when I have to persuade people of things for their own good. Also a bit of intimidation, all that fire and brimstone in speeches. We'll get a little bit more swordy, choppy, stabby skill. And I need to get it higher than martial arts, because at the beginning of the game we will receive a weapon related to our highest weapon skill. I think I'll go 40. Let's get a lot more in persuasion. Oh no, we can't go for it. We go there. 1 point here. And 1 more point into crafting, because early on it will be worthwhile. Okay, distinctions. We can have one of these. We do not need to choose any. We have an option to choose none. The Ample Arbiter. Plump and rosy-cheeked, most people will trust you instinctively. When it comes to self-defense, however, you get winded quickly. Your character is obviously overweight, so this would give us persuasion, personality, persuasion and haggling, and reduce our martial arts, bladed weapons, axes and blunt, spears and halberds, and ranged weapon skills. Some of these distinctions have a special thing that describes the character. As far as I'm aware, those do not actually affect the character model yet. That may happen in a future patch, but for now I imagine making fat and thin and tall and short and skinny or whatever, different versions of every different possible character model in the game, is the sort of thing that would take a lot of time and effort, and I don't know if the developers will be able to fully do that, or if they actually intend to at all. Level-headed leader. You're a superior strategist, yet some might say you're too reluctant to get your hands dirty. Reminds me of a girl I went to school with. When it came to sporting events, her participation would involve her generally finding vantage points on the edge of the play area and shouting instructions at everybody else that they all ignored, which caused her great frustration. Because she obviously believed she was better suited to analyse what should be done and had a good idea of what was going on. Whether that is true or not, don't know. But it did frustrate her that people wouldn't listen, and that she didn't get involved that much. Obviously frustrated the others a bit, I think. So this will give +2 personality, and would reduce martial arts, bladed weapons, axes and blunts, spears and halberds, ranged weapons, and health per level. Each time you're hit, there's a 1% chance to panic for 2 to 3 rounds. Oh, that's not good. We do have a panic resistance stat, but even so, getting that many panic checks could be bad. The Brainy Beanpole. Tall and slender, you've always had your head in the clouds. Alas, your distracted attitude has left you alienated from your fellow man. We'd gain intellect, crafting and medicine, and we'd lose intimidation, persuasion, bluff, and haggling. Your character is taller and slimmer than most. Again, I don't think that is visually represented. Eagle-eyed. You're blessed with great height and perfect vision. Unfortunately, your reliance on said eyesight has led to a crippling fear of anything that might damage or limit it. We would gain a +2 increase to the attention stat, and a bonus to ranged weapon skill. Your character is slightly taller than average, cannot equip slots head. Each time you're hit, there's a 3% chance to panic for 2 to 3 rounds. So this character can't wear anything on their head, and are so scared of being hit in the head that they will panic and run away and stuff if they start getting walloped. Heavy-handed. You're stronger than a good portion of the population, but your muscle-bound physique gets in the way when performing delicate tasks. We'd get strength, intimidation, martial arts, bladed weapons, axes and blunts, spears and halberds, would reduce stealth, lockpicking, pickpocketing, outdoorsmanship and crafting. And your character is bigger than most, hence the reduction to stealth. Fortunate fate. You've enjoyed a lifelong streak of good luck. Regrettably, this means you've never bothered to learn any skills requiring grit, patience and hard work. We'd get +1 luck, we'd increase bluff and haggling quite significantly, and reduce outdoorsmanship, crafting, medicine and lockpicking. Ugly upbringing. Your arduous childhood has made you resistant to hardship. Sadly, the more civilized side of life is a bit beyond your scope, so basically me. We'd gain endurance, outdoorsmanship, bleeding resistance, poison resistance, and we'd lose haggling, bluff, persuasion, lockpicking, and pickpocketing. Had a bit of a rough childhood at times. Yeah. Short of stature. You're a head shorter than the average Imperial citizen, but you're also that much more nimble. We'd get some dexterity, which would raise our dexterity to 6, so we would have everything at a 6 apart from luck. We would increase stealth, pickpocketing, lockpicking, and reduce intimidation, outdoorsmanship, martial arts, bladed weapons, axes and blunt, and spears and halberds, because we would have shorter reach and would need to get closer to enemies to use it. And sole survivor. You were left barely breathing while others around you died in a terrible accident. Now you prefer to travel alone, lest this horrible experience be repeated. We'd get endurance, all the weapon skills, extra health per level, and our companions would get the exact opposite. And they would panic if they get hit. So we would be the one standing in the middle of a battlefield when everyone else gets beaten up and runs away screaming. Got it. I'm going to go with this. Maybe a bit like Poirot. I know David Suchet is most famous for playing Poirot, but he's also about 8 or 9 inches taller than the character. He's actually described as quite short in the novels. And yeah, I like this one. Also, if the game ever gets updated at some point to make the character look smaller, excellent. And now we get to abilities. We have... all of these seem to be related to combat. We have bladed weapons, axe and blunt, spears and halberds, ranged weapons, and martial arts. There is a hidden extra page somewhere with the unique character abilities on. We get 1 point now and 1 point every 2 or 3 levels or something. The custom companion from the mod doesn't get a starting ability and only gets 1 for being level 2. So she also doesn't have a unique ability, so she has less abilities from everyone else, and we can't replace the one that she has. Obviously, we are specialised in bladed weapons of the sword variety. As a main character, we probably want to survive, so I'm going to go one-handed to begin with. We have precise poke. You will have 15% to your chance to hit for 2 turns. It's not plus 15% so much as 15% of your chance to hit as an extra percent, I think, possibly. Attack increases your chance to hit by 15% of its current value. There we are. Or, on guard. Provoke chance 100% for 2 turns. Affected target will concentrate their aggression on you. Parry chance 15% for 2 turns, so you can defend yourself against them. Any enemy attack you parry will do no damage. Well, for now, our parry chance isn't great. I'm going to go precise poke because we are a level 1 character and our combat skill won't be very good to begin with. So and you see here we have the unlearn button. That unlearn button is available when leveling up, so I think we can respec abilities a little bit. So we could unlearn and say we'll learn that one instead, or go for a 2-handed sword skill or a dagger skill. But I'm going to go for precise poke at this point. Next we go to character appearance. And the game is taking a little while to acknowledge my choice. There we go. So here we have a number of portraits. And the game does allow custom portraits, and I believe I added 1 or 2. Interestingly, the character appearance is customized to the portrait that is selected. So as you see here, as I cycle through the portraits, the character model will change. This is interesting because the game seems to use some kind of AI assessment to create the character model close to custom portraits. So as we go through here, there's a nice variety. I think I have a bit of an idea though. We are nearly at the end of the official portraits. Yes, and I have added 2 more. And as you see, the game does generate. It seems to assess character hair color, approximate skin tone, and maybe even guess a face that is closest. I'll go with this one. And interestingly, it's given her a rather large head. And if I just get head number 4, 5, and we go down to 6. So there are some big heads, some small heads. We'll stick with what the game assigned, because if she ever does gain a small body, that large head will be kind of funny. I think I can leave these as they are. Skin detail. We have a scar. Another scar. What's that? And yes, that is quite large. I can't see what detail number 3 is for skin. Scar, scar. Heavy eye makeup. You know, there could be a religious requirement for the church. Very rosy cheeks, sort of diagonal streaks on the cheeks. I mean, we can go for the eyes. Will it make her look like she hasn't slept well in days, or she's been beaten up and got 2 black eyes? I don't know. I mean, she's kind of in shade here. That's a nice picture. We could just go no detail, you know. Sure, we'll stick with this. There we go. And we have voices. For some reason, in early access until quite recently, female voice free was blank, just like a no voice choice. And we just like, I'm not sure we had a none. We just had 1, 2, 3. Anyway.
I'm listening. Yes.
Okay, or...
Huh? Still here. Quickly now.
Sounds a bit more sensual, but also the kind of voice that you might use for preaching to exhort a crowd.
Hey, I'm here. Oi! What? Hey!
Is she Irish?
I'm here.
Sounds a bit rough.
Just say the word. What is it? I'm listening. Yes.
That, what is it? Oh, bit West Country.
What do you want? Huh? Still
Okay, we
here.
can go with this one. Now we choose difficult. We have easy, normal, and hard. So easy is 1 ability point every level, 10 extra skill points a level, 50% more experience, 15% chance to hit for the whole party, 2 damage dealt by the whole party extra. Normal is just 1 ability point every second level instead of every level. Hard is 1 ability point every second level, 25% less experience, enemies deal +2 damage, party members can die in combat. By default, party members get knocked out in combat and receive a nasty, serious wound. I believe if they got knocked out again, while seriously wounded, they can then perish. I'm going to go normal because that's the way the developers want people to experience the game. Iron Man mode, no, I'm recording, so if stuff goes wrong, it would help to be able to reload a save and sort something out. Camera mode is isometric or 3D camera. Isometric, a very classic RPG look where the environment is neatly tilted at a 45-degree angle. The camera can be turned to one of 4 positions. Or 3D camera, a 3D top-down camera perspective. The camera can be freely rotated around its axis. I think I will go for this one, although the camera will still have a bit of an isometric angle in terms of the direction at which it is looking down. So I will go for this. And now we shall begin. But first, I'm going to do a quick recording check, make sure everything looks okay. All good. Now, the game does have load screens, but they tend to go by fairly quickly. And look at this beautiful greeny blue water with the lightning strikes the ship. It's a magnificent, glorious sight. And all those birds are probably panicking because of the lightning and thunder that's crashing around them. And we've also got a sort of green glow in the water from almost from beneath here, or it's probably reflected from the sky. And we're halfway through the load screen already. There we go. Come on, game. You can do this.
You board the ship bound for Nova Drakonia, captained by veteran sea dog Vergon III. Your destination is Swordhaven. Gulls shriek and squawk overhead as the salt wind caresses your brow. A new life, new adventures. Whatever awaits, you're ready to face it.
Alright, this introductory text is voiced. Not all text in the game is. Most of it is not, in fact. Let's find our cabin.
Your quarters are modest. Not unlike a monk's cell, you'll be sharing the space with barrels of salt pork and sea bread. Without a porthole, you're guessing it will get quite stuffy inside.
Let's explore the ship. Now there's a number of options here. We only get to carry a few. Get to know the passengers is the last one we will be carrying out anyway, and is a bit of a shortcut. So let's explore the ship a little.
The ship is a large trade carrack, built for stability on heavy seas and big enough to carry a significant amount of cargo, along with provisions for extended voyages.
But that's not all, is it?
Below decks, you find an open crate full of chains and shackles, of a type made for human beings. It seems Captain Vergon is not only a simple merchant.
Let's ask the captain about the chains.
Though reluctant at first, the captain eventually admits that he has a contract to transport prisoners from the mainland to the Baldur ore mines in Nova Drakonia. However, he insists the ill-fated wretches destined to work and die there are enemies of the crown, condemned for treason. With that, he presses his lips tight. There's no more to be learned on that topic. At least, not until you reach Swordhaven.
How convenient for enemies of the crown to be condemned quickly and sent abroad. It's almost the sort of thing you imagine our current government might try to do. They seem to be very keen on quelling dissent and less interested on actual matters of justice. Let's read a book.
Stopping your ears to the hustle and bustle of the crew, the screams of seabirds, and the endless creaking of the ship, you lose yourself in the yellowed pages of an old tome you picked up on your way to the docks. It's a gripping tale of an ancient seafarer, and you read it to the end.
I wonder if that would be the 7 Voyages of Sinbad the Sailor. I haven't seen any of the films which bear virtually no relation to the actual 7 Voyages of Sinbad the Sailor, which are a great read, by the way. Let's get to know the other passengers, then, while we're at it.
This is a merchant vessel, also Captain Vergen claims, so the passenger manifest is short. To be precise, there are 6, excluding yourself. Fiona, a young musician in search of adventure. Nostra, a fiery one-eyed warrior. Nicodemus, a renowned scholar. Jehemo, a quick-witted southern sellsword. Gintar, a pious knight of the Empire. And finally, Xanfor, a kindly old man who mostly keeps to himself.
Let's go see Fiona.
An adventurous bard from the faraway kingdom of Muir-Orn, Fiona de Quinlon, is planning to strike it big in Nova Drakonia's capital, Swordhaven. The idea had been stewing in her head for a long while, and recently she acquired the means to pay for the long voyage.
Now, Fiona is the companion character for the noble origin, but Scotty doesn't know that.
You don't learn much about Nostra Urheim. She's reluctant to talk about herself, and enjoys hearing about other people's problems even less. The only thing you know for certain, maybe, is that she's from the southern prairies.
I believe Nostra Urheim is the companion for the bandit origin. How about Nicodemus?
Nicodemus Pinecone is a scholar from the land of Malvia. Since ancient times, the Malvian Peninsula has been the Empire's center of learning and home to the largest library in the land. It's no surprise, then, that Nicodemus is visiting Nova Drakonia to conduct scientific research, or so he claims.
And I believe Nicodemus is the companion for the adventurer origin. Jemahor, the narrator called him Jehamor, I believe.
Jemahor the Eel is a traveling sellsword from the faraway Kufadian archipelago. Gregarious and jovial, his speech is steeped in sentimentality and cynicism. It's hard to tell whether it's an affectation or his genuine nature.
I think he's companion for the merchant background. And then we have Gintar.
Gintar of Kuldinga is a knight from a landless noble family. He is deeply religious and often expresses his reverence for the divines, particularly the Empire's chief deity, the dragon. Gintar spends much of his time in meditation, and he claims he's traveling to Nova Drakonia solely for spiritual reasons.
Gintar is pretty much the bodyguard for the priest origin. And we have Xanfor here.
Xanfor claims to be a low-ranking Imperial official, though he's well educated in subjects ranging from history to astronomy. When you've spent some time talking to the old man, he tells you you're full of untapped potential. Quite flattering.
Interesting. How nice of you to think so, Xanfor.
The ship rocks gently upon the calm sea.
Well, we can get to know the passengers again or go to sleep. And you know what? We've done enough. Let's get some bed rest.
As the ship draws ever closer to your destination, you sometimes listen to the sailors' stories when they're off watch. They share all kinds of amusing anecdotes, from the commonplace to stories so outlandish they could only come from seafaring folk. Yet, whenever they speak of the weird comets above the Gulf of Swordhaven, or of warlocks practicing their craft in western Nova Drakonia, Zanfor's face darkens. It seems he takes these topics very seriously. In the meantime, you...
We could help with the fishing, mend the nets, tend to the sick, or watch everyone else at work. I'm going to go with tend the sick. We're a priest, after all. We want to make sure everyone's doing well.
Many maladies plague the common jackdaw. The ship's sawbones rarely gets a moment to relax, so you learn a bit about medicine.
Let's get some more sleep, then.
A few days later, the vessel finally enters the stormy sea. True to its name, the dark waves slam relentlessly against the stern, causing the vessel to roll in a nauseating rhythm. The air is thick with the smell of salt and ozone as its heralds, the grim Malamuks, replace the cheerful seagulls to glide in eerie silence beneath the laden sky.
We can gaze out at the restless sea, find solace in the company of our fellow travellers, or lose our worries at the bottom of a bottle. We are a pilgrim and an ordained member of the church, so there are many among the crew and passengers who may require our comfort, so we will enjoy their company as well, as it may hearten us during this journey.
Many stories are shared in the relative comfort of the lower decks in the few days following. During one such gathering, a cabin boy, pale as death's maiden aunt, rushes down the companionway screaming between sudden peals of thunder, "There's a storm upon us!"
Let's take a peek outside.
You are not alone. Several crewmen are rushing around on deck. The other passengers have also come up, some fearful, some amused by the capricious weather. Captain Bergen roars out, "You must be out of your blasted minds! Get back down that hatch before..." A flash of light and an ear-splitting boom cuts him short. The lightning bolt, the grandfather of all lightning bolts, strikes the main mast, leaving you blind and deaf.
Oh no!
You give your head a shake. As your vision returns, you see other passengers still covering their ears, while the crew races to furl a burning sail. A section of the mast lies on the deck, just a few feet away. There's someone beneath it. You stagger towards the poor soul and discover it's Zanfor, an elderly fellow you had spoken to during the voyage.
Indeed, he said I had great potential.
As if bewitched, you fall to your knees beside the dying man. Zanfor fixes you with eyes watery from pain, and you lean closer to hear him over the stone. "Take this, my friend." A bloody cough erupts from him as he produces something from his jacket, a mysterious amulet on a silver chain. "Take it to Agranot the Enlightened in Swordhaven. I beg you. The fate of the world is at stake." Can it be true? How can the fate of the whole world depend on a cheap bit of jewelry?
Now, if any of you, dear viewers, are thinking this reminds you of the beginning of Arcanum, don't worry, I've noticed. I think it reminds me of Arcanum as well, and I enjoy the reminding. I'll do it.
Thank you. Zanfor's eyes roll back in his head, and his final breath escapes with a wheeze. You examine the amulet he gave you. It's a dark prism, within which a dim red light flickers. When you press your finger against one of its sides, the crimson glow seems to drift towards it, as if the object were alive and watching you.
Interesting. Let's rise.
Still puzzled and disturbed by the urgency in the dying man's voice, you gingerly rise to your feet. The other passengers are all there, along with the captain, who surveys the destruction with an unreadable expression. "Take heed now, me hearties. 'Tis here we must bid each other farewell. This old ship's in bad shape, and the place I must go don't allow no passengers. You and the others exchange troubled glances. Fear not. The shore's but a stone's throw away. We finally reached Nova Drakonia. Well, except for that poor fellow over yonder. He spares a glance for Sanfor's corpse. The village is close by. Name of Clamreach. You can find shelter there after you land.
We could remind him that he was paid to ferry us all to Swordhaven. We say, now look here, good fellow. Steady on, old chap. You know, we paid for the full journey and you're dropping us off here. So we could make a big fuss. But we should probably just be grateful we got here at all. And the lightning bolt may have damaged the ship more than we know. So it's probably best we get off it sooner rather than later. We could thank him or not thank him and just be like, great, we're getting off this tub then. No, we'll be graceful and offer him thanks for the journey.
This new land is reputed to be dangerous. You should arm yourself before stepping into the shore boat Captain Vergen has graciously offered you.
He's offering us a weathered sword, or we can refuse to take a weapon. We'll take it. It's better than nothing.
The thunderstorm ended as abruptly as it began. The sky once more blue and blank as a new slate. And as the sun begins its rise in the east, for the first time you see land ahead. Nova Drakonia. With a parting salute to the crew, you hop down into the boat where the rest of the passengers are already waiting, and take the oars in hand.
Land is close. In fact, it's so close that it's only a load screen away. After a rough landing, you and your fellow passengers meet the dawn, gathering wood, kindling a fire, and preparing something to eat from the scant sea rations providently brought along. And here we all are. You're about to leave this merry gathering and make for the nearby village when one of your travelling companions stops you. Are you leaving, sister? Gintar of Kuldinga, the pious knight from the mainland, looks up from the flames. I could stay a little longer. He nods. But when you do decide to leave, allow me to accompany you, at least until we see the smoke rising from the village. He turns towards the woods, for who can fathom what lurks in this untamed wilderness? What do you think could be out there? I don't want to guess. It could be nothing, or harmless forest beast, or who knows. The wilds are home to all manner of creatures. So what brought you to Nova Drakonia? I heeded a spiritual beckoning. Did you now? Sure. He seems a little off on that. Let's show him Xanfor's amulet. What do you make of this thing, then? Now, that's a strange little tchotchke, isn't it? I personally would seek out its true owner and give it back. One cannot discover a higher truth in magic destined for someone else. Oh, well, I appreciate your opinion on the matter. The knight turns back to the campfire. I say, why waste time? Let's see where this path leads us. Oh, jolly good, says Gintar. By the way, could you please remind me where that village is? The one the captain mentioned. Oh, you mean in Clamreach? We need to follow the road through the forest across the river and then head east at the first turn. I see. I got it. Well, thank you, Gintar. Sister, one more question before we depart. Is that chest you were sitting on yours? I assumed it belonged to another passenger. I thought the same, but no one will lay claim to it. The sailors must have stowed it in our vessel by accident. He gives you a significant look. It would be a waste to let it lie fallow. What say we take a peek inside this mysterious box? I chanced upon a lockpick while gathering twigs for the fire. He lowers his voice. no doubt dropped by that Quaffadian sellsword who we've been travelling with. Maybe you could try it on the chest. Very well, let's go. Lo, the village is close, and the scent of smoke doth reach my nostrils. I have left the tutorials turned on because at some point in the future we may reach tutorials I have never experienced during early access. To interact with a teammate, press the UI button, refer to the picture, or the designated hotkey, then click on the teammate. So, our talkie talk button. N, apparently. I'm going to zoom out slightly. In a little. Can I get a halfway measure? There we go. And here we have a locked chest. Now I'm going to let you in on a little secret. This locked chest, and I'm going to just center the camera on the party. This locked chest contains starter items. There are a couple of DLC for the game to just show your support for developers. They give you a few extra items. I purchased them to show my support, and they will be in this chest, which is locked.
It's locked.
The character attempting lockpicking must have lockpicks in their inventory. To use this skill, press the UI button, referred to the picture, or use the designated hotkey, then click on the locked container or door. We have L for lockpicking, L for lock. Here we go.
I could have done it with my eyes closed.
That is successful. I'm trying to get a good medium range zoom. There we go. Right. We have a treasure map. A map that leads to an unremarkable island in the middle of nowhere. Did you win this in a card game, find it, or loot it off some hapless stiff? Is the information it holds even valid? One thing is for sure. X marks the spot. Some ruby slippers. There is an old folktale about a girl who became lost in the horrible dark thicket somewhere to the north of Swordhaven. Longing to return home and see her loved ones again, she begged the kindly people of the woods to make a deal with her, and so one of them crawled out of the shadows and did just that. For merely a lock of her hair, the fey creature gave her a pair of ruby-encrusted slippers and told her to click the heels together thrice to be transported instantaneously back to the place she missed so desperately. The trusting girl did so, and the magical footwear truly did return her to her old homestead, where her parents were worried sick. One thing the kindly person neglected to mention, and the lass never thought to ask, was that the exact place the slippers delivered her to be lay 50 feet in the air right above the farm well. Since her mangled body was discovered and buried with great grief and reluctance, these slippers have travelled the world, passing from one curio dealer to another, until one day you got your hands, or rather your feet, upon them. And these slippers are legendary. They will give +3 stamina, +15 persuasion, 8 slow resistance, 5 immobility resistance, will reduce our ability to intimidate people because friends of Dorothy aren't that scary, come on now, and give us +3 damage threshold, which means we will take a bit less damage when we get hit. And you know what? Since we're the main character and we're wandering around lost in this strange land, maybe that's a good thing to have. The Infant Regalia gives good bluff, intimidation and persuasion, and a little bit of protection. A regal crown made legendary through a dubious tale. It is said that this thing was forged to be put on the swollen, adult-sized head of Corpulian XIII, a child emperor. The birth of this disfigured infant was first seen as a blessing, for the size of their skull was deemed to be a sign of supreme intelligence. After all, a common belief among peasantry is, if you got a big melon, you're probably a clever fella, whatever that means. Alas, the cranium in question turned out to be mostly filled with watery bile, and the young ruler unfortunately perished just a week after being born. The crown was then looted from their meagre grave and travelled the black markets of Kudonia until it fell into your hands. The Argent Fork. Low damage, very short reach, high chance to inflict bleed, and high armour piercing. It is said that some nobles are born with a silver spoon in their mouths. A fork, however, is much more useful on the daily. It can even stab those who would disrespect the great authority of its bearer. An Argent South fork, perhaps? The Atom Shield. 20 shield block, 4 shield defense. Shield blocking is your chance to block. Shield defense is the amount of extra damage resistance you get from it when you block or something. Stamina -1. Wearing armor reduces your stamina and ability to do things. Dodge chance reduced because you've got a shield on, right? The administration of tithes, obligations, and musters, also known as ATOM, is rivaled for its relentless dinar pinching and the ceaseless conscription of young men, who are then sent to perish in senseless wars betwixt noble houses. Yet it is envied by fellow bureaucrats for its distinctive coat of arms, featuring metallic spheres spiralling through the air. Perhaps you stole it from a tax collector, found it in a ditch, or once carried it proudly as a badge of office. Who knows? Who cares? In Nova Drakonia, all sins are forgiven upon arrival, even the deadly one of being a government official. The Comfortable Backpack. Reduces dodge chance. It's so thick and bulky, it's going to give you a little bit of damage protection and a significant carry weight increase. Makes you look like one of the squires from Monty Python in the Quest for the Holy Grail, or with that frying pan and the rope, Sam Gamgee from The Lord of the Rings. Come on, you know you want to. It makes sense, right? Come on. While most travellers stoop to wearing backpacks poorly cobbled together from simple wooden frames and cheap fabric, this exquisite object was envisioned and crafted by Daria, the master adventurer, said to walk dozens of miles a day while heavily burdened with all the necessities of free life on the road. The talented explorer wanted all the comforts of carrying loot upon their back without any of the unfortunate cons of the deals, such as clumsiness, soreness, poor balance, spinal damage, and more. Thus, they crafted this remarkable invention, light and sturdy, with a Baldur copper alloy frame, waxed linen of the lightest, tightest weave, adjustable support belt that reduces strain on the lower back, cleverly designed shoulder straps that can be tightened or loosened on the move, numerous compartments for easy storage, including secret ones for most valuable belongings, and, of course, a handy holder for a pork lad statuette said to bring good luck to all freedom-loving vagabonds of the land. The pork lad is basically like a piggy bank. It's a sort of thing that is very popular in this world. Ramhorn hat, perhaps once belonging to Tim the Enchanter, increases bluff and intimidation, reduced personality, and a sizable damage threshold increase actually. A scary looking hat with ram's horns on the side, which make the bearer look like a horrid fey creature in shoddy disguise, popular with marginal religious groups known to the masses in general as weirdo cultists. This bit of headgear provides a little bit of everything. Protection from blows to the head, extra subterfuge, and last but not least, style. The Pork Lad Aegis. So the Pork Lad, as I said, it's like a piggy bank. It's like if you have a Pork Lad, it's supposed to bring you luck and make you find extra coins and money, and you'll always have a little bit of dosh, you know. So the Pork Lad Aegis is 35 shield block, 3 shield defense, as opposed to like the 20 shield block, 4 shield defense on the other shield. Stamina -3 though, so it's heavier, dodge chance also more significantly impacted. Pork Lad, a boy turned into a pig to feed his family, is a popular saint in Nova Drakonia. Though his porcine image is usually carved into small wooden statuettes, this one has been fashioned into a kite shield, sturdy and well made, offering dubious blessings but a very real protection from all enemy blows. This is not a kite shield, it is circular. A kite shield has a point at the bottom. And this hat. Dread Pirate's Tricorn. The title of Dread Pirate has never been earned easily, for one must board at least 100 vessels before reaching such astonishing, albeit repugnant, levels of infamy. Your tricorn, however, simply washed ashore one day as you were waiting for a ship to grant you passage to Nova Drakonia. Use this notorious relic properly, and you might yet forge a reputation worthy of your salt-ridden, crusty old hat. And it gives us extra money in chests when we loot. That is all of the DLC bonus items. There's one DLC that gives 3 of these, and the other one gives the other 3 or 4, right? The empty bottle, the potions, the bandage, the torch, and the salt are all in the chest if you don't have the DLC. To access your inventory, press the UI button referred to in the picture or use the designated hotkey. It is this large button here. You can left click on a consumable or a weapon with the left mouse button and then drag and drop them into your belt, referred to the picture. This will allow you to quickly use potions and or change weapons during combat. We can also right click on items to use them as well. I'm going to give one of these healing potions to Gintar. And then I will equip these 2. We have a potion of innovation which reduces our action point cost. And a weak potion of resilience, which gives us some protection, but makes us nasty and stinky for a long time afterwards, so people won't like us very much. I'm also going to put on this rucksack so we can carry a lot of stuff, and that means we won't be wearing Xanthor's amulet, which has no special properties anyway, so that's okay. The rucksack is going to offset our short stature, and we can really be like a well-equipped hobbit. Constantly complaining that he kept forgetting to get rope until he gets to Lothlorien when they give him some to make up for all the times he kept forgetting it. We also have this wonderful shield. We'll put that on. We'll give this one to Gintar so he can have a shield as well to protect him. And we will equip his potions also. Now, Gintar has a special ability called Healing Hands. He also has Soft Spot, which is a normal ability. And I will just demonstrate here. Ah! Oops. Select multiple... No, I don't want to do that at all. Oh, shouldn't have done that. That was bad. Bad click. I don't want to do that. No, off, go. Right. Select everyone. Done. So. Character sheet. Gintar. Abilities. Soft Spot. Causes confusion for a couple of turns. High chance unless they've got good resistance. Affected target may flee, stumble, or attack allies. Excellent stuff, right? But he also has his unique ability, Healing Hands. This attack receives extra reach of 1 steps. Everything is done in steps. So the club has a reach of 1 step. The sword has a reach of 1 step. Spears might have a reach of 2 or 3, you know. Remove negative effects from target. Deal no weapon damage. This ability has a cooldown, so it can't be used very often in combat. But when it can remove blindness, bleeding, prone, pretty much anything. It is a really good ability. It doesn't remove any actual points of damage. Health points remain at the current level, but any negative conditions that are messing someone up, like being slowed or entangled or something, just gone immediately. That is the nearest thing to a magical miracle that I've come across in the game that a party member can use on a regular basis. Let's amble about the beach a bit, because there's a few things. Note that you can press the UI button, refer to a picture, or use the designated hotkey to highlight all items and lootable containers. Press it again to deactivate highlighting. I believe it's tab. Well, it ain't tab. Whatever is it? No. Well, there's nothing in that clamshell. That's okay, we're going to the Village of Clamreach, not the Village of Clamshell. And this is a potion of prowess, which will increase our chance to hit. So what I'm going to do is shuffle these all along by one. Actually, I'll put those there. If we get into a fight, we may want to use these. Here by the fish is one of our fellow companions. The sellsword Gemahor the Eel, whom you met during the voyage, greets you with a disarming grin. Hard to believe such an innocent expression belongs to a merciless cutthroat. You're here to see me off, see, sister? Quickly then, I shan't linger long on these shores. No rest for the wicked, eh? Wicked, you say? No, 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 my sea sister. Once these feet are reacquainted with solid ground, I shall go where good deeds are needed, for such is my life's passion. You know, the eel is a strange moniker for a righteous man. Oh, that's the nickname they greet me with. Here he comes, Gemahor the Eel, who always slips from danger's path, no matter the situation. Yet when the contract is done, the coin paid, and the time for farewells grows nigh, they say, Gemahor the Eel? We do not know any such man. Nay, here stands Gemahor the Good, he who works hard and fights well. And if many moons later one of the unwed lasses in our household should give birth to a miracle baby, we shan't falsely accuse him, but instead raise the wee child as one of our own. That is oddly specific, Gemahor, you know. The point is that being a paragon of virtue is my calling in life, and as we all know, the best way to serve the greater good is to peddle your sword arm to the highest bidder. That's not necessarily the greatest good, it's the highest paying good. That makes perfect sense. You know what? You know, the only moral solution is to always support the strongest, as power guarantees economic growth and thus service. No. The highest bidder is one of the... If the highest bidder is one of the righteous, you mean. You know, you must offer your services to those in need, not whoever has the most gold. We are playing a preacher and pilgrim after all. Ah, but answer this for Gemahor. If these beggars you speak of are so deserving of help, why didn't the dragon, in his infinite kindness and wisdom, grant them the gold they need to hire it? Well, maybe they were robbed or swindled by that very same highest bidder of yours. Well, in that case, didn't the dragon protect them, huh? Why didn't the dragon protect them then, eh? You know, not everything that happens is due to the will of the dragon. We probably shouldn't say that. You know, you make a strong argument. Oh, give me a break. Does all that rigmarole help you? You know what? Not everything that happens is due to the will of the dragon, you know. Not everything? He clenches his fists. Upon my honour, never have I heard a bigger blasphemy. You know, you got the gall to accuse me of blasphemy when you yourself twist the dragon's truth in a manner most unseemly, sir. He rises to his feet. Despite Gemahor the Generous giving you pearls, you've treated them like mud. Despite Gemahor the Kindly offering advice, you've repaid him with insult. This is deeply painful to me, especially coming from someone I consider family. He sits back down. Indeed, this wounded heart needs time and solitude in which to heal. Well, we'll leave him be for that time. And he says, Pshak, which probably is something not very nice, whatever it may be.
Nice and smooth.
Let's at least meet our other travelling companions. Fiona de Quinlan, a Troberitz from the faraway kingdom of Muir Orm, is talking to another of your fellow adventurers, a red-headed warrioress. They're speaking in a tongue you don't understand. It must be Dewaneg, the language of Muir Orm. To your ear, it sounds like birds chirping. Excuse me, girls. Of course, milady. Looks at you like a painter scrutinizing a new canvas. Are you departing our company already? Yes, I probably am. Safe travels, then. I intend to join the group when it's time to move out. Safety in numbers, you know. Oh, where are you heading? To Swordhaven. I pray we shan't meet any perils on our journey. You know, you could come with me on the road. Thank you, but Sir Gemahor and Lady Nostra have already offered to escort me. She nods at the dark-haired warrior sharpening his sword and the one-eyed woman beside her, and as we've already offended one of them, we probably shouldn't push the issue. So, how has the road been treating you? The weather and other natural hardships don't frighten me. I'm equally accustomed to human dangers. Most unwanted attention may be averted by a long cloak and a deep hood anyway. But if that doesn't suffice, then my crossbow comes into play, and if you think I don't know how to use it, you're making a big mistake. A mistake for which more than one rogue has paid dearly. Why did you come to Nova Drakonia then, my lady? She bats her eyelashes innocently. Oh, to travel new lands and seek inspiration, of course. Yes, but why this place exactly? Allow me to answer with a question of my own. Why not? I've heard many intriguing stories about Nova Drakonia, and when circumstances allowed it, I decided to embark and make my daydreams a reality. Well, let's show her Xanthor's amulet and ask her, what do you make of this thing, eh? That certainly is a mysterious piece of bric-a-brac. You want to take it to Swordhaven and find someone knowledgeable about things ancient and preternatural. I see. Well, best of luck to you, my lady, and perhaps our paths will cross again in the future. Adieu. May fortune favour you until we meet again. Let's say goodbye to everyone while we're here. Nostra Urheim, the roguish redhead of a few words, acknowledges your presence with a nod. Why are you still here? Did the ghost planes take your soul? Ghost planes? This is the name my people give to the sea. Broad and flat, it is like the prairies of my homeland. However, ride into it on horseback and you fall straight through into the cold, wet dark we call the abyss. Ah, my soul is intact. I'll be moving out soon. Good to hear. Any plans? Well, first and foremost, getting to know the local customs. As one does. And what then? I will undertake a pilgrimage and pray for guidance. Then I wish you luck, priestess. The more your precious dragon is focused upon you, the easier it shall be for my work in his blind spot. Actually, the dragon is omniscient. No one has the power to distract him, not even for the space of an eye blink. She stops you with a casual wave of her hand. Save your breath, I don't care. So what brought you to Nova Drakonia then? That's my business, not yours. Alright, well, what do you think of this amulet we got then? I heard many tales about cursed talismans. This may well be one of those. Alright, well, we'll leave. She immediately forgets us. I think she's the companion for the bandit character. Also, the clock outside of combat, I'm pretty sure, is running in real time. So we have plenty of time to dawdle, and we don't need to worry about progressing too much time by standing still. Nicodemus Pinecone, the aged scholar you met aboard the ship, is hunched over and rubbing his lower back. I also think his voice may be the voice of a narrator, and that they may expect most of us to pick Adventurer on our first playthrough. I say, that landing wasn't good for my constitution. Oh, curse my crumbling pelvis, why must it ache so? If only I had some water. I'll fetch you a flask if you're not feeling well. Oh, very kind of you, but I didn't mean to drink. I mean boiling water, daughter. Bubbling in a pot, his eyes glaze over, with a bit of freshly butchered meat and all manner of assorted vegetables. Ah, you're talking about a stew. A stew, yes, that's the word. And after a few servings of that, I'd like a jug of something else. Only then will I fully recover. Indubitably, I'd feel positively rejuvenated. You have a peculiar way of speaking, Master Pinecone. I am a learned man, so don't despair if my thoughts and observations leave you dazzled. He shrugs. Anyway, what I wouldn't give for some stew and fortified wine right about now. Hopefully I will find such sustenance in the nearest tavern. Then why don't you go there already, ere your wordsmithery turns your mind to tatters? Wait, why don't you eat the stew already bubbling in the cauldron? My dear, do you think I have the strength to stomach any more of those despicable sea rations we've used for that vile brew? Absolutely not. Well, would you like to travel with me, then? Can you imagine us stomping through the thicket together? We'd scare away all local fauna before I had a chance to study and name them after myself. And he does like naming things after himself later on if you have him as an adventurous companion. Would you truly leave the Nicodemus Vatrakos, Dryocolaptis, Pineconius, and myriad other creatures to languish without a proper scientific epithet? Well, at least do you have the means to defend yourself? Absolutely. Behold! The scholar leans back and spreads his arms as if displaying some deadly armament. Seeing your confused look, he specifies, I mean my body. Well, not as hard and toned as in the long days of my youth, and begging for a new liver to boot, it still remembers the ancient techniques of my Malvian warrior monk masters. Alongside my supreme anatomical knowledge, it makes me a devastatingly effective pugilist. I understand, but why did you come to Nova Drakonia? I left my beautiful homeland of Malvia for none other than Lady Science, my one and only true love. Let's show him the amulet. He may be knowledgeable, and he is learned after all. What are your thoughts about this thing? A fascinating specimen, a real magical artifact. Who knows what powers it may possess? I entreat you to hide it, and hide it well, for even I, the wise Nicodemus Pinecone, am not immune to the villainous temptation to steal it. Keep it safe, keep it secret. We got it, mister. Well, then, I'll be leaving. Best of luck to you, Master Pinecone. And to you, ta-ta! And with that, we've said our farewells to the rest of the group. So let us... It's not shift, it's the alt key. Let's just continue examining the beach. We'll pick up that nail snail and this one too. We'll just indulge in a little beach combing before we go. There's a shovel over here, which we can use to dig up buried treasure, which we may occasionally encounter. Now, if you've watched me play other games before, you'll know I like to explore the whole map if I can. In this case, because I'm relatively familiar with the opening areas, I will only explore maps when I'm nearing the end of my time with them. That is, I'm not going to go out of my way to explore as much. Oh, there's a little sandcastle here. That's excellent. That might be new. Hey, I like that. Oh no, did we crush the sandcastle? Oh no, we did destroy the sandcastle. Oh, bother, I feel... Oh. Okay, we'll have to be a little more aware of things like that. Try and preserve the beauty people have added to this world. So now... let's take this path for reasons which may eventually become clear. And, oh look, there's a big red herb beside the roadway. We'll pick that. It's called dragon leaf. Okay. It's very popular, and there are many times when it will be required. I think it's also a common ingredient for healing potions. And for now, I'm going to follow this path around. And I see another dragon leaf. And whatever this may be. This yellow flower. And here we have a bridge over the stream. But firstly, I'm going to follow the stream bank a little way up here. Because just along this way, beside the rocks, there is a sack containing some arsenic. No old lace though. A quarterstaff. and some good boots. So these boots give a bit of stealth, bit of general resistance. Speaking of which, we have some ruby slippers. Let's put those on and pretend we're a friend of Dorothy. You never know what Gwyneth's like. She's young, member of the priesthood, possibly impressionable. Unfortunately, we cannot map out the full maps, and that will bother me at times. But hey, I'm just going to quickly scour this area while I'm in it. And check for things we can pick up along the way. Then I'm going to go down here and fill in a little bit more map. And this game does reward exploring at times, although it can also be risky. Now we want to be crossing over this bridge to head towards the village. I do have an idea for my stopping point for this episode. And there, ahead of us on the path, is a rather large lizard with an unnatural red ring around it, which will generally only mean something in combat. Toggle this button, pictured, to switch from turn-based to real-time, and vice versa, or use the designated hotkey. We're going to do turn-based combat all the time, don't worry.
I'm on it.
The beast has sensed our presence. We've readied our weapons. And I'm just going to move to here and hold fast. Brother Gintar will advance ever so slightly more forwards and also hold. And now the thing surges towards us, all teeth and scales and nasty tail. Now we'll utilise our precise sword poke to get in there and have a good chance of landing a blow. Unfortunately not quite good enough, so we will try again. In combat we have action points, and as you can see the little dots on the ground that show how far we can travel with our remaining 4 action points. That's 4 dots. We're done here. Gintar will use his soft spot attack to try and batter the thing. Didn't work. But the thing about his club is he has enough action points for a 3rd swing if he's not moving. We're doing a good job here of putting this creature down, and it has not yet inflicted great pain upon us, although I may have spoken too soon. There we go. The beast is felled. And from it we can gain some mysterious meat.
Nice and smooth.
Let's head onwards along the path. Gotta watch Brother Gintar's health. He's not looking too great right now. Although we've made it out of the beach and are heading towards the village of Clamreach, where we should hopefully be able to get a good night's rest. This game, in addition to rewarding exploring of the lateral kind as we walk around the land, also rewards the kind of exploring where we interact with people and things, speak to people, learn things. It all gives experience points, and it's worthwhile. Now, I've been waiting a long time to show off this game, and I think I'm going to enjoy it. I don't know how long I'm going to play it for, but hopefully you guys all enjoy it and let me know, and I'll just keep with it and keep having fun. And here we are. After a short trek through the forest, you come upon the first substantial signs of civilization. A flimsy fence to your right, and an overgrown pasture on your left. Sister, do you see that smoke up ahead? The village must be nearby. Thank the dragon, we've made it. Yes, quite right. He looks around. With your permission, I would like to scout the road ahead. I believe I'll spend the night in the local public house and travel on to Swordhaven on the morrow. He pauses, but I could stay a bit longer if you need my assistance. Thank you for this offer, or I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind. That's a good way of saying, yeah, I'm going to remember that. But it's also like, oh yeah, I'll remember that. Don't worry about it. So, thank you for the offer. I really appreciate it. He bows. I commend you to your own content. And he leaves us. Now, Brother Gintar will now be in the inn in the village and town, and when we meet up with him again, I'm thinking of ending the episode. Toggle this button up there to change the game speed or use the designated hotkey. No, I'm fine for now. We can just leave it as it is. For now, let's head up the road, and this is a quick travel point. We can interact with them to quick travel around the map. But as we know, quick travel is cheating, and we do not quick travel on this channel. Even Gwyneth agrees with me there. A very affirmative, yeah. Let's just continue up the road for now and see where it leads us. Here's a fellow with an ass or donkey of some kind, or even a mule and a cart. This lanky, shad-bellied man follows you with an eye both hopeful and weary. Greetings, Mom. Could you all help me? They do use American slang a bit in this game, so words like the dreaded yawl, which is not even a word and doesn't exist, I don't care what you say, do get used from time to time. And there's a few puns that require an American accent or a northern accent to work. Let me guess. Your cart's broken. Only the one wheel, thank the gods. The village is close by, but I'm afraid to leave poor Jenny. He slaps the donkey on the rump. I'm afraid to leave poor Jenny all on her lonesome. Oh, run, Forrest, run. Jenny will be fine. She'll ruin her life and come back to you eventually when she's ready to die. See, there's a wolf pack roaming around these woods. If they stumble upon my cart while I'm away, they'll eat the old gal faster than chain lightning. Why can't you bring her with you? Well, she's as stubborn as a, well, donkey. Only listens to me when in harness, bless her heart, and even then, barely. Yeah, donkeys can be quite aggressive. Are you really that worried about Jenny's well-being? Oh, that's other donkeys you're talking about. This little sweetheart wouldn't hurt a flubberfly. We'll learn about flubberflies later. Of course. Anyway, what should I call you? Name's Whiten, Ma'am. Pleasure to meet you. What's your trade, Whiten? I'm a charcoal burner. Left my sons to watch over the kiln while I trade with the local ironmonger. And here I is, stranded and with all kinds of ravening vermins lurking nearby. Anything else I should be aware of besides the wolves? He nods enthusiastically. Oh, there's plenty of dangerous critters mucking about these parts. Saber-toothed rats, wild boars and giant spiders in the forest. Man-eating lizards near the shore. Scary stuff. Not to mention the local bandits. Ooh, boy, them fiends would give any one of these beasties a run for their money. I got it. So what do you want from me? Can you guard my donkey while I go to the village? Yeah, I can do that. I'll nod my head. Thank you kindly, ma'am. I saw a perfectly good wheel gathering dust in the blacksmith shop. He's a right sting bomb, that horseshoer. Well, what choice do I have? So, the blacksmith is stingy, is he? Ha! He's the very definition of the word. And with all the rumours about some new conflict brewing, I'm pretty sure he's planning to earn even more gold by selling weapons for twice the price. Oh, wait, what's this conflict you're talking about? Ah, it is all hearsay, ma'am. He waves his hand dismissively. Don't pay it any mind. Now, we can try and persuade him to give us the money and go to the smith ourselves. And we don't have to go to the smith. We could just bugger off and take the money and run. I'm not going to do that. That's not really something I feel a Wade lot should offer, especially a particularly naive young Wade lot who's possibly on one of their first missions. I've got it. Well, off you go. I'll guard the donkey. I'll be back in a twinkling. The forge is just after the first turn in the path, close to the river. Got it. Just stand right here, alright? I'm off. Now we can move around, but we'll be teleported back to this spot, sort of here-ish,
I'll do it.
in a moment. He's gone and left us. We'll look around, survey the landscape, get a bit of a feel for it. There's a donkey. And it's braying his attract. That wolf is guaranteed to get in and get an attack on the donkey. It always gets first initiative. This one doesn't always get second, it often gets third. And we're always teleported to behind the donkey so that it gets attacked. Let us use our precise poke and close in and attack. We can go once more, let's do it. And the fella's back. Second wolf's going to come in for us. We have a shield and it's allegedly going to protect us a bit. And now we got some backup. The donkey's backed away, mercifully. And now it's just a matter of keeping ourselves alive. So it seems the shield block is straight damage absorption in the same way that the damage threshold used to be. Good stuff. Double good stuff. We're probably not going to get the kill on this one now. But hey, we made a significant effort. There we go. We still get some experience. So let's loot the bodies of the wolves and we'll get some leather and fangs. There is a crafting system in this game and it's worth investing in. But it's also really expensive early on. Whiten casts about with himself with a worried expression. I'm telling you, these wolves are shameless. Back in the day, they were as cherry as attack. They was cherry to attack humans. I don't know what that's supposed to be. Probably weary. Wary. But cherry? I don't know. Uh-huh. Anyway, you got the wheel, right? He nods and immediately starts fixing the cart. Let's monitor his progress. You closely study the man's work, but do you have the mental capacity to understand it? Let's find out. Yes, you're beginning to understand what he's doing, and it's not even that complicated. We got 3 points in crafting. Excellent. He dusts off his hands and says, done and done. And turning to you, I recently purchased a healing potion from the local witch. How's about I give it to you as a reward? Yeah, sounds good. I'm not going to quibble and try and get more. Our haggling skill isn't that good, after all. Here you go. He hands you the potion. Well, I suppose it's time to say goodbye. Giddy up, go. At first, the donkey doesn't respond, but after a full round of exhortations, she gives in. Her distressed owner sighs in relief as the beast finally starts moving. And we got a weak healing potion. And away they go, disappearing off into the distance. You know what? We are a bit injured, but we're not going to drink a potion just yet. Although it would probably be a good idea. First turn off the path into town is here. This is the way to the blacksmiths. It's a smithy after all. And this would be the town gates into which we're about to wander. There's another thingy-bob. I think we get experience points for finding these. I can't remember.
I'm on it.
And there's a lady we'll probably want to talk to at some point. But for now, that dog's barking like it's seen a stranger. And this man seems to be guarding the gate. A young fellow, no older than 20, stops up you at the gates. He squints and raises a stick he's using as a weapon. Oh, halt! Who goes there? Calm yourself. I'm a servant of the dragon, sent here to spread his will. Dragon, bless us all. Forgive my suspicions, mistress. It's just, he scratches the nape of his neck. You don't look much like a Wade lot. At least, not on the outside. Uh-huh. And, How should a Waidlot look, pray tell? Well, they usually have this air about them, sort of fatherly or you know, motherly like. Makes you feel at ease or gets you all riled up. It's, if there's a need for it. You must get what I mean, right? Because I can't explain it any better than that. You know, I've been travelling for some time now, and clearly the road has taken its toll on me. Just be kind to him. Oh, right, sorry. He frowns in thought. Still, I mean no offence, but we already have our own Waidlot, appointed by the High Waidlot of Swordhaven, no less. Look, I'm a travelling preacher from the Empire on a mission to bring the Dragon's Light to the local heathens, not to take anyone's place. Ooh, you're from the big land. The lad's eyes light up. News from the faraway metropole must be a cherished bit of entertainment in these parts. Might as well indulge him. If it's not a bother to you, mistress, is it true there are golden oliphants 15 feet high standing before the Emperor's palace, and that there's a whole duchy where people have learned to fly like birds and... let's see our options here. Where did you hear that sort of gossip? Oh, lies and malarkey, all of it. The Empire is once again on the brink of collapse. The Emperor is at war with rebellious princes, famine and plague wreak havoc on the populace, and vile cults are running amok. And that's not mentioning the conniving neighbours. Let's see, bluff. You could bet your bottom dinar on it. Why, I rode halfway here on one of them golden oliphants and flew the rest. The boat was just a prop, so I didn't shock the local yokels. Maybe let's not go quite that way if we're supposed to be preaching the good word and have people believe us. Nope, there's none of that. I mean, sure, we do have oliphants on the southern plains, but they're mostly used as beasts of burden, and the most valuable thing about them are their tusks. Other than that, life there isn't that different. I'm going to go with this one, though. Well, there are a couple of oliphant statues in the capital, but I don't believe they're made of gold. And I've never heard of anyone learning to fly, albeit one scholar did sketch an idea for a flying machine. Debatable whether the thing would actually work, though, so yeah. That doesn't sound too bad, I mean. I would definitely take a whirl on a flying machine, as long as it's boat-shaped, of course. Oh, of course. Just picture it. Paddling through the heavens, catching sky fishes for your supper, nary care in the world. Sure hope that fella's sketchings turn into reality one day. Indeed. Now that your curiosity has been sated, can I finally enter the village? Aye, go ahead, mistress. After all, it's much safer inside, with them two nasty lizards on the prowl near the beach. Ah, yes, lizards. I know what you're talking about, I think. You already met them critters? Yes, I had to fight my way past one of them. Oh wow, I hope you killed it. When we tried to drive him out, my pa got bit by one of those beasties, was laid sick for 12 days he was. Frowns. There was two of them, a man and a wife, I reckon. But the worst part is that them scaly bastards made a nest in the sacred cave where we keep a shrine to Darain. Accent with the two dots over the I, so it's not Darain, it's Darain. There's a lot of that in this game. I will try to remember it. We'll see how it goes. But the worst part is that them scaly bastards made a nest in the sacred cave where we keep a shrine to Darain, our patron god of fishing. Now that we can't humour him as we should, I'm worried he'll be less generous. I mean, the dragon is great, but he probably has better things to do than drive fish into our nest. What do you know about these two lizards? Never seen critters like them in these parts before. They must have come from the south. Well, at least that's what Father Hercus, our Waidlot, thinks. I wonder what made them travel out here. Why couldn't you drive them away? Oh, but we could, and we would. It's just that after one of them bit my pa, we decided to come up with a real plan. Unfortunately, we've since been burdened with other troubles, and well, now we got bigger things to worry about. Oh, would you care to elaborate? It's, nah, don't worry about it. What can you tell me about this deity, Darain? Darain is one of the local old gods. The barbarians who live here long before us knew of him. Brother Urcus says he was a bigger deal back then, though. You better ask him if you want to hear more. At any rate, nowadays we pay homage to Darain with gifts and prayers, and he makes sure our nets are always full of fish. I reckon that's enough to know he serves the dragon like we all do. You said there was a nest in Darain's sacred cave. Alright then. Aye, now if only some kind soul would help us deal with the fiend that's hiding in there. I can take care of that, I think. You could? Oh, well, only if it's not a bother. That thing is no less dangerous than the one you already slew. Oh, where can I find the village Waidlot? Father Urcus tends to the temple grounds right at the end of the main street. You can't miss it. And indeed, we'll probably be visiting Father Urcus in the next episode. Could you point me in the direction of Swordhaven? Sure thing. Gestures to your map. It's, here it is. Much obliged. Well, time for me to hit the road then. See you later.
Nice and smooth.
Into the village of Clamreach we go. Hello, who's this? There's a little girl. Are you from the Empire? Is it as big as the adults say it is? Gee whiz, I can't even imagine. Oh, it's pretty big, little girl. There's a well here. I can interact with it. I'm not going to just yet. There's a woman here who stands by the well a lot. We do want to talk to her at some point, but again, not right now. For now, we're heading along this street until we see the inn sign. The local inn. For we have been gifted with a mission of vital import. Every inn, as well as any private property you come to own later on, contains a linked storage chest. This is new. The linked storage chests were not, to my knowledge, in early access. I despise linked storage chests because if I put something in a chest, it should stay in the chest I put it in. Items placed there will be available in every other chest of this kind anywhere in the world, and I will probably never use them except in dire emergencies.
Fine, I'll do it.
Because who's carrying all the stuff from one place to another? Gintar of Kuldinga greets you with a reverent nod, but his gaze belies a certain restlessness. Greetings, sister. How do you like this place? The locals are pious, hard-working people for the most part, and a few black sheep among them are known and rightly ostracized. Surely there are places with a keener need for a holy warrior. Or perhaps you'd care to join me again, brother. Well, if you need help with anything in particular, and now I'll tell him about our lizard-slaying mission. Oh, that doesn't sound like the glorious crusade I had hoped for, but even small deeds must eventually add up to a great work. Oh, quite so. Do join me. We venture forth. Brother Gintar has once again joined our company. Let's now head outside. No, let's talk to this fellow a bit first. He's just sitting smoking a pipe. An affable-seeming, well-dressed man of middle age gazes up at you. May the sun bless your path. I don't suppose you saw a large caravan approaching the village gates. Greetings. What kind of caravan are you waiting for? Mostly carpentry supplies, an entire wagon train loaded with crates of nails, axe heads, and other tools. My brother, the helmsman, is supposed to pick me up. Are you planning to build something here? Well, no, if he's picking him up, he's going somewhere, isn't he? No, not at all. We're going to set up a trading post at the foot of the western mountains between Nova Drakonia and the barbarian lands. This part of the country is starved for trade goods. Do you think the barbarians are true believers or simple heathens? Asks Gintar. Oh, heathens to the last, but that's changing. Like water wearing away stone. Don't forget to build a shrine to the dragon as well. Oh, naturally. Doing business out in the wildlands comes with a lot of risks. I never forget divine protection. And if the same as some of the Slurium, as they call themselves, decide to heed the wisdom of the Fire Scrolls, it would be a great boon to the faithful of this land. You know, I can keep an eye out for your brother if you want. No need. It's much too soon to expect him anyway. I got here early. Now, was there anything else you wanted? Well, I can ask a few more questions. What should I call you? I suppose an introduction is in order. I'm Sulmar. The pleasure is all mine. And my name is... Sulmar regards you with new interest. Gwyneth of the Lakes. I think a lot of these alternate names are ones that can be generated by the random generator at the start of the game, and if you use one of these, it will be avoided when the options come up in conversation as false options. Gwyneth of the Lakes. He responds with a polite nod. What's your trade, Sulmar? My family is all merchants. I'm 7th generation at least. Back in the day, I'd sell Quaferdian carpets, scented pipe leaf, and other fine goods. He smiles. Ah, those were good times, but the past is past. Now I've teamed up with my brother for a new venture. Oh, what's the rarest thing you've ever peddled? Western Trading Company saw knife, I suppose. They're a mighty peculiar design and are very rare. Wish I had one on hand to show you. Western Trading Company? One of the Imperial Merchants Guilds. They got representatives all over, including in Swordhaven. Everything they sell is either superbly crafted or just plain weird. Real hard to fake too. They mark all of their goods with a particular sign, a 5-pointed star and crossed swords. What's so special about their knives then? Oh, I'm gonna burst that bubble before you even blow it. They aren't magical. They're just well made. Take that blade I mentioned. The steel is so fine it never rusts or loses its luster, even if you left it stuck in a tree stump for a season. It's intricate too, curving like a bird's talon at the tip, and the fine-toothed saw along the spine is perfect for cutting rope. Your average village smith would never put so much effort into a simple knife. You can't even get a sword embellished unless you pay extra. Ah, intriguing. Tell you what, if you ever come across a knife like that during your adventures, bring it back here. If I'm still around, I can share some tips on what to do with it. Alright. You heard any good gossip? Well, there's talk of a public execution in Grainhold. Trip's a couple of days, so I doubt I'll be attending. On the other hand, a little distraction would be nice. After all, nothing gets the blood pumping and the heart racing quite like some good old mob justice. Right, I see. Well, let's change the subject. Whatever rocks your boat, good woman. Alright, you know what? I think I'll head out. Fare thee well for now, good fellow. He offers you a languid salute. And now we will go outside. We will not speak to the innkeeper or his wife just yet, although we will do that at a later point in the fairly recent upcoming future. Although recent implies past, but you know what I mean, in the very near future. There's a young man, we will be acquainting ourselves with him. In fact, we'll be getting to know almost everyone in town. For now, though, we will approach the well. Before you stands the village well. Its old cobblestone foundation is cloaked in moss, its wooden frame dark and beaded with moisture. Let's look into the well. You look into the well, but it's too deep and dark for you to see much. We will drink from the well. The water doesn't have any aftertaste and seems clean enough. As a matter of fact, you feel positively refreshed. All party members regain 5 health, and that's why I didn't drink potions straight away. We'll toss a coin into the well. It's not a witcher. A coin thrown into the well is said to bring good luck. Are you sure you want to go ahead? Yeah, we can toss in one coin. You can barely make out the splash of the coin hitting the water, yet you feel that this tiny donation has been recorded somehow, by a force both ineffable and unknowable. We've gained 10 experience points and lost a dinar. I'm not going to shout into the well, that's rude. No time to prance around the watering hole. Duty calls. And away we go,
I'm on it.
heading out of town. We're going to familiarise ourselves with this village in the not too distant future, but for now, we've got some lizards to go slay. At least one. Because if they're a breeding couple, there may be more. They might have multiplied at an exponential rate. How many potions does Gintar have? He has 2. Okay, you know what? We'll give him this one as well, so he can have a 3rd healing potion. And he can drink one now. That puts him back on full. We're near enough to full to take a hit or two before we consider drinking a potion ourselves. I like the little boots or moccasins there swinging away on laces at the side of a pack. It's a nice rucksack. Adventuring pack. It makes us feel like a true hero or heroine rambling through the wilds. Let's go look for this cave. And you know what? I was going to end when I got Gintar back in the party, but I'm going to deal with this damned lizard, damn it. And even flesh out my map of the woods a bit while I'm at it, because why not? Now my mind, I see the red flower there, don't worry. My mind is going back to that additional companion I mentioned from the mod. Let me know if you think it'd be fun to have her along. I mean, hey, she'd be an extra body in combat that enemies might target. This tree has something sticking out of it. 3 copper darts. Let's take those. Oh. Now we can either click on the item itself or the name above it, which also selects it. We can get down to about here. I don't know if we can go further. Oh, we can. Excellent. There we go. And that's about as far as we can get on this side. We can't get down there. So let's venture back this direction. This is one of those games where you can't map out a whole map, but I still like to do my best. Oh, there's a sun drop. Excellent. And I know that over here there was a dragon leaf. It does seem there's a radius on the alt key detection. We wouldn't be gaining that new companion until we've left this area and are about level 3. She is a little further away than this village. We're looking for the cave where this creature dwells. You know what though? Actually, the cave is associated with the worship of Darain, and here is a skeleton and a large bag. The skeleton has a copper dagger blade, good for crafting, and the bag, 3 dinars, some lockpicks, a Wendian cap which gives a +10 persuasion boost, and a healing salve, which, let's see, 6 to 10 to 12 health for 6 stamina points for a weak healing potion. The healing salve, 5 to 10 health for 6 stamina points, so slightly worse than a potion. But we'll equip it anyway. I think, since the cave is dedicated to the worship of a local god called Darain, we should go speak to the local Waidlot about that god and see what we can learn. That's likely to be more profitable than getting murdered by a giant lizard in a cave. So yeah, that's the reason why it was. But you know what? I don't mind the backtracking a bit. It progresses the time a little as well. We can obviously explore a little while we're down here. I do mean a little, mind you. This area is not entirely safe. Aha. That hogweed might be bait. It's very conveniently placed on the edge of the darkness. There we go. Alright, let's head into the village. Ah, wait. More hogweed. Excellent. And a skeleton. I don't believe I've ever found this skeleton before. Don't know how long it's been there. This skeleton has 5 bog iron arrows. So bog iron, it's found in bogs and marshes. You can literally pull it out of the ground. It's generally like below the waterline on the edge of the bog, underneath the muddy grass that overhangs and the reeds. You have to like generally lie down and reach back under the ground sort of thing. It's what a lot of the early Viking weapons were made of. It's low quality iron. Doesn't need to be mined, and it's kind of a step up from copper, according to this game. I can kind of believe that. Let's head towards the Wade Lot's church and maybe end the episode there, I think, because my throat is getting quite dry. So we've made landfall. We've got our friends of Dorothy slippers on. We've got a companion, Gintar, who has what could be considered a miraculous ability to cure ailments in his companions simply by being close to them. And here we are. We don't seem to have... There we go, got it, good. We got the travel point after all. Up here is the temple, and this is where the local Wade Lot resides. And we'll go in and see him in the next episode. I hope you've all enjoyed this one, because I'm going to leave it here. And I'll look all forward to seeing you all in the next one. And I'll keep an eye on the comments section for the next few episodes to see what your thoughts are on the additional follower, Lyris Fenbrook. You know, she's a bit of fun, not necessarily the most powerful person, could help boost the party a bit. But obviously I don't know if experience points are being divided amongst the whole party, or if it's a standard award that everyone gets or what. So hey, do we want an extra character who kind of exists outside the main story but has a side story of their own, or do we want to just focus on the main story? I don't mind, we'll have fun whatever we do. Alright, I'll say bye for now then, and see you all next time. Cheerio everyone, and I'll look forward to seeing you again in the lands of Nova Drakonia.